From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and friends, featuring the lovely Coach Dee. We got a good one tonight. Actually, topics actually from a latter part of the conversation from last week from a viewer. The topic for tonight is, they really don't like you. People do what they want to do for who they want to. Let's bring Coach Dee in for this Gumbo Talk real quick. Hey.
Can't hear anything you're saying.
You can't hear me? 1 second. One more time. You can hear me? You got me? 1 second, folks. Every time we connect to Instagram, it look like it's stuck. We have to disconnect from Instagram again, folks. Look like Instagram still hasn't got their feed together. So 1 second.
Let me go out and come back in.
Gotcha. What's going on Instagram? I see you guys there. I see your nappy cuts. I see you, brother. Good to see you there. We're taking a real quick. This is the first time we're connected to these 23,000 people on Instagram, and the first Instagram here for the conversation. But hang tight, guys. We'll get to you in a minute. 1 second. I see you, Brandon Gator. What's going on out in Memphis? 1 sec. I think Coach D is having some problems on her end. 1 sec. What's going on, Slash? I see you over on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Good stuff. Quick sec. There she goes. We'll bring her back in. All right, you good?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Good stuff. All right, we're finally connected to the 23,000 folks on Instagram, so I can see them on the other screen here, so we're good to go. I wanted to give it a try and see what was going on. I see you, Brandon. Appreciate you, brother. Memphis. Good stuff. All right, cool. So tonight's topic, they really don't like you. People do what they want or who they want. And actually that topic comes from a comment section on the latter part of the conversation last week, and Coach D suggested that we Gumbo talk through it today. So here we go. So what was your thoughts on that when you saw the comment from the viewer on what she was saying?
She's right. Because think about it. You have people, you'll have friends who will go out of their way to help another friend, but ignore somebody else.
Absolutely.
Right? So people have
Go
ahead.
I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and she was like, well, what you mean by that? I said, well, think about it, right? Even I have done stuff like that, like wondering why people are not doing this or X, Y, and Z, whatever. I'm negotiating with myself about the friendship and whatnot, but if they really wanted to, they would.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't like me like that. You know, that's a hard lesson for everybody, but I've been on that side of the spectrum as well, where I'm negotiating myself, trying to figure out something, why they're not doing this. I'm racking my brain. Hey, maybe they just don't like them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People will marry people they don't like because there's benefits to marrying them.
Exactly.
Right? So, and when you think about that, think about people say, oh, that's just who they are. That's just how they are. No, it's not. Because they will go. I know some people, one lady, her wife, he will ignore his wife. But if a friend says, hey, let's go out, he will drop everything.
Right. I mean, he didn't want to do it with her. Right.
Yeah.
I get it. Let's say hi to the folks before we start digging in on his trauma and all that good stuff.
Hey Slash, I see Slash says Grand Rising Melanated People's greeting Princess Coach D and Mr. Epic.
What up,
I'm not.
Slash? What up, Slash? Then on Instagram, we're on Instagram as well.
Yeah, I have Instagram up. I don't, and it's a little delayed, so I don't see any comments on Instagram yet.
Okay. Yeah, they're there. I see them. I'm looking at them. I see Al Sal. I see my brother Carlton from Nappy Cuts Barbershop.
Oh yeah, there's lots of people watching.
Yeah,
So
Brandon Gate out of Memphis.
hmm,
I don't want to.
yeah,
I don't want to say it wrong, but he's an MMA fighter, a great fighter. Good stuff.
yeah. So it's
One
interesting
sec.
because you'll
Go ahead.
talk to people, and I told one person, I said, "Honey, his soulmate's not you; it's his best friend."
Right,
Right?
right,
And
right.
soulmate does not mean sexual. It just means that's their person who gets them the
Okay, the
most.
butterfly says she could hear us on Instagram, so that's good stuff. Tammy,
Yeah, yeah.
good stuff. Good
And
stuff.
it's sad really because a lot of people will diminish themselves and
Right.
there's a term, remember I said the pick me?
Yep.
They
Yep.
will do
I think,
they will do everything they
I
can to
think that was a great way you actually ran it down. Explain to the viewers the pick me thing you were talking about last year.
a pick me will do anything that other person wants to get their attention.
Right.
They will even go against their own personal values, ethics, and norms
Wow.
to get that other person's attention. And you'll see
Right.
that in the comments and social media and everything, they will agree with the most disagreeable man just to say that they're better than other women. That's called a pick me, right? And
Wow.
unfortunately, in different relationships, when relationships are on the ends, right? Because not all relationships continue, some do end. There's
Right.
a period of time where either male or female can be the pick me.
Yeah,
And sometimes you have to realize they just don't like you and you need to move on.
exactly. And I call that, Coach D calls it pick me. I call it negotiating with yourself. And
Mm.
like I said, I've been on that side of the spectrum as well, where I'm negotiating with myself about this relationship, this friendship, trying to figure things out with them
Yeah.
when it's actually them. It's not you, it's them. So, negotiating yourself, it's not a good thing, man.
No,
Been on that
it's
side
not.
of the spectrum as well.
It's
So
not a good thing. It's a human thing, and 99.9% of us have done it. So if anybody
exactly.
says that they
For those
haven't,
who exactly, those who will admit to it. Let's just say
mm,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And you know what?
But
There's nothing wrong to it. It is a phase that everybody goes through in a breakup, and
right.
it's a phase when some people aren't thoroughly healed.
Right.
Because if you're not thoroughly healed, you remember we talked about boundaries in the
Yep.
last time we talked about boundaries and what low maintenance really means, right?
Exactly.
And so that if somebody still thinks that they're low maintenance and they need to diminish themselves and they need to
Right.
be somebody else, that's where it comes from.
Speaking of your definition of low maintenance, I got so many calls on that
Oh, really?
from ladies. Oh my God. I
They
was
did
like, hey,
not
you
like
want her
you.
email? I mean, you can contact her. I mean, she
Give
said
him
it.
my
I didn't, but
give
she
him my
has a
number.
point.
Give him my number. I'll talk to him.
It's like she has a point. Explain to the new viewers that just coming in on last week, Coach D talked about the high maintenance, right? And the low
Yeah.
maintenance. And her definition is a little different from what you would expect. Explain
Yeah.
it to him real quick.
Low maintenance means you'll put up with low effort,
Mm,
right? And it's all about you're diminishing your own worth because
right.
you should be high maintenance. It should
Right.
take effort, right? People should
Absolutely.
know what your favorite foods are, what your favorite colors are. This is basic low bar stuff.
Right.
Like the bar doesn't get any lower than knowing what somebody's favorite color is.
Right.
And people right now are digging underneath that bar to make it lower. No, stop doing that. Demand that these things are known, right?
Right.
They have to put effort in. You're worth effort. Everybody's worth effort.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think, like I said last week, man, some folks get that whole high maintenance thing confused with
Money.
nails, hair, haircuts, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, but just like you said, it's a girl thing.
Yeah,
That's a girl thing, and that's a human thing. Wanting to
yeah,
look good and
yeah.
presentable and whatnot. And
That's not high maintenance. That's just taking care of yourself
right,
and self care, right? But
exactly.
there's other things like not knowing um, I told you about my friend who has his wife's restaurant order for all the restaurants that they go to on his phone. So if he goes out, he already knows what to order her without even asking her. Even if she says she's not hungry, he'll bring it back her favorites.
Right.
Right?
And tell me why did you suggest this topic, this particular topic?
Other than it went along with the last one, and we're all about learning in the new year and new year, new you, right? So we want to make sure that people are get some takeaways from this. That it's not just messy. That the mess can be cleaned up.
Right.
But but unfortunately, too many people get in their feelings and start strapping on shoes they're not meant to wear, and get upset, and then, I don't know why you're getting angry at me. I told you that you should demand people. Like, that's an odd thing to get angry at somebody for, right?
Right.
You should put effort into loving you. Like, think about that for a second. If you're upset that somebody said that, why are you upset? Is it because you're not getting the effort now? And it's making you look in the mirror? And you can give them my phone number if they want to call. I will gladly chat with them.
Exactly. Yeah. But, the majority of folks, man, one sec, we had a comment coming in from Slash.
Slash asks, hold up, there's a woman that knows what she wants to eat. Okay, Slash, so here's the thing. It's not that we don't know what we want to eat, is that sometimes we may want to eat different things from multiple places at the same time. Right. And some women will not bother you with that. I am not one of those. I will tell you.
Hey, we got a chance. Speaking of Slash, we got a chance to hang out this past week. Shannon came in and brought in Butters, Kobe's girlfriend, see what was going on. And Slash came out, and Ursula, she was there as well. The only thing was missing was Coach D.
Coach D didn't travel down there.
Huh?
Coach D ain't traveling during the school year.
I know. So we had a messy conversation going on.
What y'all talk about?
Oh man, Slash in the comments section.
You could call me and we could video chat in.
Oh, you know what? That'd have been good. You know what? That would have been great. That would have really been great. We'll do that next time. We'll definitely do it next time. So Kobe's girlfriend was in town for the week. Kobe didn't. She didn't want to be bothered with Kobe. To talk to him throughout the week, and he was upset about it because he really likes her.
Well, maybe Kobe needs to put in more effort. All right, Slash, I'm going to give you the warning right now. If you start with this, I will just ignore your comments because we're not doing this tonight.
What is he saying?
He said, "Sure, you're speaking for women again. I'm going to need to see the numbers, charts, and graphs." That's how you talk to your boy.
I did.
Yeah.
But so, listen, when you talk about women and what they like, and most women, in all fairness, someone we talk about what you want to eat, the majority of women, they go back and forth what they really want to eat. That shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal.
It shouldn't, but how much effort has that man been putting into it? Would he go to 3 different places if she wanted fries from McDonald's, steak from somewhere else, and a drink from somewhere else?
Right. So pretty much what you're saying is get to know me and you should know exactly where I want to go and what I want to do.
Yeah.
Which starts with conversation, right?
Yeah. That's effort.
Right.
I already said my buddy has his wife's order for all the restaurants that they go to, what her favorites are there. It's not that hard if you put in effort. Right?
And honestly, when you think about it, we actually turn this into this topic. We're putting in effort. If he or she isn't putting in effort, they really don't like you like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Think about it. So if she's having an issue, with knowing what she want to eat and whatnot, and I put in the work as far as the conversation, getting to know her dislikes and her likes, her likes and dislikes, or whatever. And okay, hey, that's what it is. But I mean, you have to, something small and minute as that shouldn't deter you from, going forward with the person.
Yeah, but remember, lots of people will diminish themselves if that person is not putting in effort. So for somebody to say,
what does that look like? What you just said, that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Repeat that. What does that look like?
That some people will diminish themselves if that person is not putting in effort. So when somebody says, "Oh, I don't know what I want to eat," they're kind of telling you that they don't trust you to go to where they want you to, where they think what they want is
I can see
available
that.
for them,
I can see
right?
that. I can see that.
Because maybe the restaurant they want is like 15 miles in the opposite direction, and they know that person wouldn't do that, and they don't
I
want
can see
something
that.
else from somewhere else, so they'll hem and haw. There's always a reason behind an indecision.
Right, but still, like I said, though, something as simple as dinner shouldn't be a deal breaker with nobody, in my opinion.
Listen, sir, the bar is low. The bar is very low out there, and people are digging under it to make excuses for people,
You
right?
said digging. Did you say digging under?
They're digging under the bar. Like the bar is at ground level, and they're digging under it. Like
I get your
some
point.
people can't even get a text back.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
But it's crazy when you talk to people out there. It's just there's a lot of nonsense on both sides,
Right.
and there's a lack of effort.
But a
Right?
lot of that comes from, folks carrying baggage over into another
Mm-hmm.
situation. They're not giving themselves time to actually spend time with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we get conflict. This is where we come into conflict. I
Yeah,
find, personally, I find
yeah.
that they haven't done the work on themselves, and it's always going to be a clash of the titans,
Well,
you know?
people need to date themselves for a little while, so they know what their requirements are, what their boundaries are, what they want and what they don't want. Right? If somebody's in a power trip
Right,
with you, then you don't want them because there
right.
should be give and take.
I
That's
slash
why
a question. He's coming through with the comment. This is he says there was so much capping
there's so much
going on.
capping going on at the meetup. I'm sure they wouldn't want to have put it to tape.
Yeah,
No,
what
I wasn't
the
talking
stuff
about
that
tape. I just
the stuff that no, when we were at the dinner table, when we were
okay.
talking. Oh, here comes Ursula. Here comes Ursula.
Ursula says, "Wow, I love it. Digging under the bar. I love it." Yeah,
Good
we
stuff.
gotta
Good stuff.
we gotta be realistic about what's going on and what we
Absolutely.
require. Right?
And one thing is, here's a red flag on either side. We're talking about either side, talking in general. If a person gets upset because he or she don't know where she want to eat, that's a huge red flag.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a fluorescent flag, stoplight, everything.
Yeah.
Something as simple as dinner shouldn't deter you from doing what you started out to do. Let's just say it like that.
Listen, sir, some of these folks out there, they would not go out of their way if their mama was dying. But if their buddy was,
All hate mail and stop emailing me and calling me. She's right there.
call
She's
me.
right there. So I get
I
it
have
though.
a do I have a Google Voice number? I used to.
But
I call
so when we let's dig in a little deeper with this that they really don't like you. You know,
yeah.
when
Yeah.
you talk about they really don't like you, you have to see the red flags and anybody, we're all a human, right? In an
Mm-hmm.
imperfect world, but we're all human. We
Yeah.
know when something isn't right. We're all
Yeah.
adults. If it doesn't feel right, move away from it quick.
Yeah.
Move away from it. I've been down that road where I'm negotiating with myself because I like something else in this woman. Maybe it's the physical aspect of things that I like with her. This is why I'm going to negotiate with myself, knowing
Mm-hmm.
damn well I shouldn't even be negotiating with myself. I should be going the other way,
Right.
but continuously talking myself out of breaking away. That's not
Oh yeah.
healthy.
People will make up excuses all the time
Right.
to save face, to not admit what's really going on, because their ego get hurt. Right?
Right.
They're like, I picked them. Like, yeah, we picked them. We make mistakes. We move on.
In your opinion, in your professional opinion, why do you think it's so hard for people to cut the cord when they see the red flag?
Letting go is hard, and it depends on what your relationship type is too.
Right.
Right? So if you have an insecure attachment type or a secure attachment type, depending on what your attachment type is, can make it harder for you to let go or harder for you to even admit that you need to let go.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? How many times have we have conversations with a girlfriend or a male friend, and they're talking about this person, and you're like, man, you need to have dumped them 6 months ago,
Right,
but
right,
they'll stay with them,
right.
right? Or you
They're in
need
there
to
on
have
Instagram, Coach D.
made bets on.
Say hi to folks. Coach D, they're in there on Instagram.
I can, I'll say hello to everybody on
Can you
Instagram. I
see it?
can't see your names. No, it's not. It's a delay for me, and I'm not that
Gotcha.
good. My eyesight. I'm like, I need to get very close to the mic. I'm on my phone, so
I
it would
got you.
take me a
I
while
got
to
you.
get closer. But
I
yeah,
got you.
it's we need to admit that sometimes our egos will get hurt,
Right,
right? And that it's not as simple as we think it is all the time,
right. And
right?
it's tough,
Things,
man. Let's be honest and fair. We're not sitting on a high panel of judges here and whatnot.
yeah,
It's tough. It is really
it is
tough,
tough.
especially to walk away from something that you're accustomed to or that you're used to, that you've
You've
gotten used
invested,
to, whatever.
yeah,
It's
you've
tough.
invested
It's
time.
tough. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said you've invested time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and people don't want to lose the time investment, or they don't want to lose the story that they have about where this relationship is going,
Mm,
right? Because
mm.
with every
And when you
past,
say
there's a
story,
future.
explain to the, I know exactly where you're going with that. Explain to the folks what you say they want to lose a story.
Because with every past, there's a future you thought that had.
Okay.
And you know what? Sometimes people look at that future and they still want it. And like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can still have it, but maybe you'll need to have it with somebody else.
exactly. Maybe that person not your partner. So
Yeah. Not
yeah,
everybody is your person.
right.
Right? There's a saying some people
It's
come into your,
okay. It's quite all right to master the art of saying goodbye.
yeah,
It's hard, but once you master it, it's good for you.
because once you get past it, you're laughing,
Absolutely.
right? So it's
Absolutely.
just a matter of getting past it.
Absolutely. So let's dig into people do what they want to do or who they want to do it for.
Hmm.
So we talked about that earlier when we opened up. We talked about how if they want to do it, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
They're going to completely do it. And why is it so hard for us as humans to figure this out? When it's plain as day, we see this. It's plain as day.
Because we're selfish.
Selfish on which part? The
We
one who's not,
A lot
the
of
one who's
times we
not
think of
doing, or the
ourselves,
one who's
both parts, because we think of ourselves first. Sometimes that person that we think we love, we don't really love them. We love what they can do for us or what
right,
the
right,
image is with that person, right? Sometimes it's just about how it looks, not how it feels. And sometimes it's the exact opposite. Sometimes it's um, the other person is what they can take from them. And I don't necessarily mean monetary, right?
right. It's
So,
absolutely. I get it.
yeah. And then when you finally sit down and look at the journey of that relationship, you're like, well, why didn't I see all those red flags at the beginning?
Right.
It's
They're
like,
always
well,
there.
yeah,
Yeah. And
but
most time, in my case, I'll get a little transparent here. In my case, once I reflect on a past relationship and whatnot, I got time to think about it. Once I'm to myself, I saw the red flags,
mhm,
but I was ignoring the red flags in the beginning because I'm a fixer, or I
yeah,
could fix that, or I could turn it into what I want it to be, or I could do that. In actuality, she came into the relationship exactly who she was.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So you can't go in to anything saying I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that problem right there. Nah, that's a problem gonna be a bigger problem. 'Cause as long as you're actually covering up that red flag, it's gonna turn into, a yellow light, then it's gonna be fluorescent, then it's gonna be beaming red. But we can't go and say, oh, we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that. I can look over that. I can look up, oh, that's just her. That's just him. 9 times out of 10, if he or she is walking in like that, that's exactly who she is. That's exactly who he is. So negotiating with yourself is not going to help you.
Yeah.
I used
And
to negotiate with myself a ton. There's one in particular person, I won't call her name, but I was negotiating with myself throughout the time, all the way up until the wedding day. I'm negotiating with myself
yeah.
on the island, walking down the aisle, negotiating with myself. Oh, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna take care of that.
Hmm.
Those red flags became danger flags in the end. But I saw this in the beginning. I saw
Yeah.
this, but I ignore them.
Hmm. Slash got a comment. Again, tell
It's-
Slash. So Slash says, who's going to rallies for side salad from Chick-fil-A and a burger from Five Guys? That's not about effort, it's jumping through flaming hoops. Have either of you shown this level of effort? Sir, you're telling on yourself now. Because that's not a huge level of effort. I was dating somebody in Toronto who liked this very specific cake from a bakery in Niagara
Right.
Falls.
Now we
And
talk about now
I go
Five Guys.
down Niagara Falls for them.
I've had Niagara Falls is very beautiful.
Mm,
I've had Five Guys on a date right in
yeah.
Elmwood. But it's all in about the conversation, Slash. It's all about that, that initial engagement. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
Slash
Like
is
I
saying
knew it
who's
was
going to
safe
go.
to go ahead. I'm
Slash is
sorry.
saying who's going to go pick up those from those three places for somebody. Who's going to rallies for fly salad from Chick-fil-A and a burger from Five Guys? So
I
if
mean,
somebody
I
wanted a
do it if
meal,
that's what she want.
that's what I would do too. If I
Yeah,
called home and said,
if
"What do you
that's what
want?"
she wanted, I do it. I mean, if she wants the Five Guys, okay, cool. Let's get the Five Guys.
That's not flaming hoops, sir. That's far from flaming hoops.
Yeah.
They're
Now
not
see that's
asking you to travel across the country.
now the flaming hoops. That's a red flag to me. So Flash, are you saying that her requesting those different places, or are you saying that you want you to stop at multiple places on the way to her? Clarify it a little more for me.
Yeah, and I definitely have shown that level of effort. Please,
Yeah.
that's not effort at all. That's minor stuff.
I mean that's real minor. So if she wants rally, hey, rallies it is.
Yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Too often we set standards for other people that we would never allow for ourselves.
What does that look like? Tell them what that looks like.
So somebody who will tell, it doesn't matter which gender, we'll just say
Mhm.
person A, who deems themselves very bougie, would
Right,
not allow themselves to go to, say, Chili's. But person B has one of their favorite dishes ever is from Chili's. Person
right,
A would never go drop themselves down to that level to go there, right? And that's
right.
that's the whole thing about effort. If your buddy, bestie, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend loves a certain food from a certain restaurant, figure out what
Compromise.
you like at that restaurant and go there with them.
So compromise. It's compromise, right?
Yeah,
There's
it's
nothing
it's
wrong
like
with compromise.
very minor effort,
Exactly.
right?
And you touched on that last week when you said a lot of our issues are really common, are really
Yeah.
minute and small when you think
Hmm.
about
Yeah.
it.
People
So
get
that's
upset over the small over minor things, and
exactly.
then they blow them all out of proportion.
Slash says,
I'm not piecing together those three stops while dating. You know, it sucks. Feel bad for people that
so,
date you.
so wait a minute, wait. So Slash, you're saying, okay, so if she suggested that she wanted the Five Guys burger, let's break this down a little bit. She wants the Five Guys burger. I would suggest the Five Guys burger because it's a little more healthier as far as, with meat, whatever. Five Guys burger, and she wanted a salad from Chick-fil-A, and she wanted the fries from Rallies. So you wouldn't go out of your way for that?
That's
Now it's actually turning into a romantic type situation because I would turn that $10 meal into something very romantic, very charismatic, and all that stuff. Get creative, headed to our house with the
that's gonna
burger,
cost.
the
That's gonna
salad,
cost you more
the
than ten
fries.
bucks.
Yeah,
Two
probably
words
so.
I'm out. Good for her. Lucky that you're gone.
He's saying 2 words. So
Two
so
words,
Sly,
I'm out.
so let me ask you something. So Sly, so you're saying that this is your girl of interest. If you've gotten that far to where she wants those things, she's asking, she's comfortable enough to ask you to go to those places. You're saying that you're just gonna, cut her legs. That's what you're saying. Now you spent countless of hours on her on the phone with her, and now you've wasted all this time. But why not turn it into something nice instead of being grumpy with it?
Because it requires effort, sir. He already
That's what I'm
told you he's
saying.
not putting
So
the effort in.
you turn it into a romantic type situation.
That
You
requires
turn it.
effort.
I mean, that's just my mindset. But
Yeah, but that requires effort, right?
didn't we agree last week that this is what's happening? Like people
People
they don't
don't
want to
give
do
it
the
the
work.
effort. Yeah,
He's coming back. I see what he's saying.
you got to know where to start and having the foresight to see where it will end up. No, it's not going to end up anywhere if you can't be bothered to put in that little bit of effort to go to 3 little places to get 3 little things.
Right. I mean, it's called compromising, man. It's called
Yeah.
to me. It's called compromising, and I mean, if it honestly that's not going out of the way. If she's asking for, if she likes Rally's fries but likes
Well,
Five Guys burger.
here's a question for Slash. Let's see if he really is as low effort as I think he is. If your wife is pregnant and is having cravings and asks for those 3 things, would you get them for her?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I will wait for your answer, sir. Because
That's
right
good.
now you're under the bar as far as I'm concerned. So I would tell women not to date you till you got yourself sorted out a bit.
Right.
But it's
But
all
I don't
effort,
see,
man. Effort
honestly,
is
me
not
personally,
hard.
this is just me.
Yeah.
I don't see an issue with that going to those 3 different restaurants, picking up that stuff because at this point now it's moving into the shivery piece. Now it's moving into a romantic piece.
Nobody's asking them to peel the potatoes and cut the fries, slaughter the cow, and make the burger.
Stop.
Garden the vegetables. It's like simple stuff. Hey, Martine. Hey,
Hey,
y'all.
Martin, my favorite Detroiter.
You know what? And people are like, well, Dee, you're just high maintenance. I'm like, yeah, I require effort.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but here's the thing. Now, here's a great chance for you to say what high maintenance look like.
Yeah,
It's effort. It's effort. It has nothing to do with getting your nails done. Has nothing to do with getting that haircut. It's effort. And that's on both sexes, man.
yeah,
Like, show me some effort.
yeah.
Oh, here you go. What do you say?
She said, my response at dating, please read to overstand, man. Here's the thing. We weren't asking about dating. We wanted to know specifically how much of an effort you were willing to put in. That's why I specifically asked that question.
So
So
rephrase your question again.
I said, if your wife was pregnant, would you go to those 3 places if she had cravings? That's pretty simple.
Right. And I've had to do that in the past.
And yeah, the answer should be yes,
Yeah.
because it's not that much effort for your pregnant wife carrying your child. But my response at dating, sir, that tells me what your answer is. Right? Martine said she stepped out for a minute. It's all right. I'm just
That's okay. But you
well,
hear so
just
we're
doing his
all
usual self.
Martine, my favorite Detroiter. We always appreciate the support, the genuine support. So good
Yeah.
stuff, man. Real good stuff.
But here's the thing. Too many. I was watching a live on TikTok because everybody has a voice there, and there's
Mhm.
this gentleman who was saying that women have too higher standards in dating, and all these women came on with very basic minimal standards, and he
Right.
told them they're all too high.
Right.
Like one lady's standards were so low, I was like, sis, you need to raise those up. Like she was just asking for a phone call in the morning, or a phone call when she got just to make sure she got home. A phone call to make sure she got home safe, and he said that was too high.
Wow.
Like that's just basic good
Wait a minute.
manners.
Wait. So she's asking for a phone call just to make sure she got home safe. That was
That's
it.
it. Yeah. And he said that was too high a standard.
Sis, he just don't like you like that.
Yeah. And that's a pretty low bar, man.
That's way low. That's low.
You know?
Honestly, you have to check that moral compass at that point. If you don't even want to see if she's okay, that moral compass is way off.
Yeah.
Way off.
And that's
Smash
the
button.
thing. These folks are listening to these talking heads who are spouting nonsense who really honestly sometimes I question if they even like women because the way they talk about women. Yeah, because it's like women are a thing; they're not
Right,
humans
you're
to
right.
them, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Slash
That's
says,
that's not information. I'd move the moon and sky for mine. Well, just
great
say
answer,
that.
great answer. Great
Why was that
answer.
so hard?
You know
Jeez.
you and Slash got to butt heads every now and again. Because
No, but
the night would not go right if you guys didn't butt heads.
yeah, but some of the things comes when he says it comes off very misogynistic and condescending, and I don't like it. And
I got
I've
you.
already told you about this.
I
So,
got you. I got you.
right.
I
And
got you.
Martine says most guy know talk with me until I'm inside the house. Yeah, that's pretty low effort thing. Stay on the phone with make sure she got home safe. Right?
Exactly. Again, if he's having a problem calling you to make sure you got home safe, you gotta check that moral compass, man. It's
Yeah.
time to hit the door. Look for the exit door because that shit not right at all.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
Martine
right.
said, "Yeah." Martine said, "Yeah, I said that most guys truly don't like women. They don't." Yeah.
So
It,
let's get back to these simple conflicts between male and female, man. When they they simple conflicts taking place because of dinner. Simple conflicts are taking place because she want to go to the lake instead of going to a club. Simple
mhm.
conflicts, simple things where requires compromising.
Yeah.
Something simple as compromising. If you're in a relationship or headed toward a relationship and you can't have compromising, you can't compromise on anything, you don't even
Yeah.
need to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
You need to
Listen.
be by
So
yourself and deal with yourself.
I
Honestly.
got listen. I got some emails the other when I mentioned that if somebody has a favorite thing, you don't have to love that thing, but you should be
Right.
interested in it.
Ooh,
Remember when I said that I went fishing with somebody, even though I don't like to fish, and I just read a book,
right.
right? Because you're there, you're still going to talk to them about what they're doing. They're just enjoying spending your time. I had people got upset about that. I'm like,
Wow.
yo, see, this is why some of y'all are single is because y'all ain't putting any effort in for anything.
Exactly, man. You
Right?
know, if you think about it though, like if you can't compromise, you can't be interested in the things that she's interested in or he's interested in. Maybe you're not even interested. Maybe you just want to fuck around. Let's keep it a buck. Let's
Yeah.
keep it a buck here. Maybe you just want some head. Maybe you just want, let's keep it a buck. Say
And,
what it
and
is that you actually want. Because if you can't compromise in the situation that you're going into, something's wrong.
well, see, here's
Something as simple as dinner.
some people can't have that conversation because then they can't play people, and some people are too busy playing games to have the adult conversations.
Right.
Right? That's how they
And
end up
these
in all these
days, a ton of folks are
situationships.
running from adult conversation.
Yeah.
A ton of folks are running from adult conversation. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when you come in the door, man, come in the door with straight talk. And this is why we give you guys straight talk on the conversation. We call it Gumbo Talk. Straight talk. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, say exactly what you want.
Be honest.
Compromise. If you
Be
can't
honest with
compromise, you don't
yourself.
need to be in a relationship.
Hmm. And you need to be honest with yourself and with the other person.
Exactly.
And don't settle for low effort. Don't diminish your light to make sure somebody else's light shines because you'll end up regretting that. Right?
Exactly.
Always demand that, like, you watch TikTok and all these women were talking about there's no presents under the tree for them. Their stockings were never filled.
Martine
Like, that's
said,
sad. Oh, that she was talking about Slash.
I got you.
She
She
says, "I'm
said,
too deep into my adulthood to play around. My time is very precious."
pretty much.
And
If
we
we
should
if we
all.
all look at life like that, we're all traveling this road called life. If we
Mhm.
looked at it like that, like, hey man, time is precious. There's no time to sit here and play these games. I played a ton of my games in my earlier days.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't have time for the. I'm short talk on everything. My
Yeah.
energy gonna tell you everything you need to know.
And here's the thing: a lot of us have a lot of trauma that we're unhealed from, and we need to tell people you need to get therapy. Therapy is not a four-letter word,
Exactly.
right? Especially within our community, people think, "Oh, well, you're sick." Like, nobody's sick. People are using therapy to get well,
But I
right?
find that once I got therapy, I find that, the people who are unhealed, they run from people who are actually healthy. So a
Mhm.
healthy conversation to them it really looks like toxic when it's really not toxic. I'm speaking from a healed place.
Yeah, because healthy conversations have boundaries. Right? People have requirements.
Say
People
that
have
one more time for
preferences.
the people in the back who did not hear that.
Healthy conversations have boundaries. They have requirements. They have needs, wants. Like you should be able to discuss all of that with somebody that you're having a conversation with, right?
Exactly.
Because are you dating to date or are you dating to marry?
It's real talk.
Like, why are you dating? That's a whole different conversation. Or are you not dating and you're just out there to have conversations so you can get lucky? Right? So you have to understand, you have to be honest with yourself for why you're even out there to begin with. Because then you
Exactly.
have completely different conversations.
Martine says.
She said, "Nope, I will not shrink myself in order to daisy his insecurities." Yep.
Pretty much. And pretty much that's what people do when they water themselves down, I call it. When you
Mm-hmm.
water yourself down, you're really helping him in his insecurity. You're helping him hide a little more. Or you're
Yeah.
helping her hide a little more if you water yourself down.
Yeah.
So
Like if
you
they
put
want,
some more cover on them when you water yourself down.
right. Like if they want their ego stroked, they should be stroking your ego as well.
Pretty much.
Right.
What's up,
And
Martine?
where read that one? She
Oh,
just
you
wrote
got that one.
typos below it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And too often we take for granted the people who are asking little in return.
Right, right.
Because some people like to give just to give because it makes them feel better.
Exactly.
Like
I see you
there's
guys
nothing.
on Instagram, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in, checking us out tonight. So it's the first time that Instagram got it right because we tried it twice, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't get it. So
Yeah. The first time we had a whole bunch of, yeah, it was messing up
the
the, uh,
stream, yeah.
the stream
So
completely.
good stuff. So it's good to know that we're connected to those
Yeah.
23,000 people. So good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. People have to understand what their requirements are and what their boundaries are. Right. Remember, we've talked before about what's on your list. And is your list a realistic list or is it something that you need to rethink? Like,
Right,
is communication and emotional intelligence on your list? If they're not, then you need to rethink your list,
right.
right? Because if your list is just 6'4", 100,000 a year in a car and a house, that's not a list. That's a preference.
Boom. One more time, please. One more time.
If your list is 6'1", 100,000 with a car and a house, it's not a list. It's a preference,
Exactly.
right? Because you may
And
find,
I'm so glad you bring that up because I talk about that all the time. We talk about lists and people putting lists together. And most of the things that people put on lists is attached to monetary things.
hmm,
If your list, your top 5 is attached to monetary things, you need to go redo that list and go get some help,
yeah,
honestly. Or if it's attached to superficial things,
yeah, yeah,
you need to go back. You really need to go back and rework yourself. Because
yeah,
that's not what a list, my top list is compassion. We talked about this last year
yeah,
sometime.
yeah.
Maybe, yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have
Things like,
compassion and your moral compass is a little off,
yeah,
you're not gonna make the cut. For me,
yeah,
you're not gonna make that cut.
yeah. You need compassion, authenticity, trustworthiness, loyalty, humor, communication, all those other things. Like,
Did you guys see how many she went down on that list? Like 6 things on that list. Had nothing to do with monetary things, had nothing to do with superficial things. Oh, she has to be red with a round ass. Come on, man. I
yeah,
had that shit when I was 17, 18.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Uh,
ass is round, the face is pretty, but what's between the shoulders?
yeah. Martine says, "Love my guy friends, but I won't allow them to treat me any old way. If I have to be the dancing goddess of love, platonic love for the rest of the time, so be it." Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And then there's a guy who just wants to be your friend until he has an opportunity to get in, and they're not really your friend at all, which is really really sad because
Right,
there's nothing worse than lying to somebody about friendship when somebody thinks you're an actual friend and that's not your motive at all.
right. And to be honest, I gotta be transparent. 9 times out of 10, if a guy walks in saying he just want to be friends, 9 times out of 10, that's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking from a guy's perspective. 9 times out of 10, that is not the truth.
Oh
Or
yeah.
if you have a boyfriend or if you have a husband, oh, that's just my friend. Nah, he's sitting and waiting in hopes that your husband fuck up.
Oh
He's
yeah.
gonna slide on in.
And if your other half or the person you're dating will defend that friend who is the same gender as you over you, walk away. So that's a red
Quick.
flag right there, right?
That's right.
They should your
Absolutely
friend
right.
your spouse should be on your side because this is where we have so many arguments when it comes to in-laws because the spouse is not talking to their parents,
Right.
right? That's the spouse's parents to talk to their parents, not the daughter-in-law or son-in-law, right?
Absolutely.
If your
Absolutely.
parents aren't treating your spouse right, then it's your job to talk to them.
Absolutely. One
And then
Martine coming through.
Martine says, my list is a pretty good list. That weak dude who hangs back in the wings, nah. It's not you got. It's not the weak dude in the wings you got to worry about. It's the guy who's right up front.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty much. You said a mouthful right there, D.
yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty
Oh
much.
yeah, I've had men in my life like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty
So it's
much.
it's interesting because too often people are disingenuous about what their goals are with that other
Right.
person. And honestly, if people were more honest about it, it'd make it a whole bunch easier for communication.
Right.
Right? Just tell the person, listen, I really like you. I'd like to remain friends with you, but I would like to see you. And if that other person doesn't have that same goal, you find out really quick.
That's
And
it.
then you're wasting time. You're not wasting time. You could be looking for your actual
It's
person.
so easy these days, man. I mean, if you once you truly found the higher level of yourself, once you've reached that mark, all this stuff is simple, man. But it's truly is simple. We just make it complicated.
Because it's a lot
We
of
make
work to
it
get.
as
It's a
humans, we
lot of
make
work to
it
get there.
completely complicated. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's a lot of work to get there.
Exactly. It's a ton of work, but once you're there, it's a good space to be in. But
Yeah.
if you can't compromise, you have no business entertaining that man or that woman.
Hmm.
If you don't have compromising on your mind, because we're all different, as I said, like I said last week, all the way down from the particle hair on our head, we're different. We're
Yeah.
completely different. So of course we're gonna be indifferent about certain things, but compromise.
Yeah. That's
So
that's
where she wants to go to dinner or where he wants to go to dinner, it shouldn't be a big deal. It really should not be a big deal.
yeah.
This
That's
is
why
called
whenever
adult.
when anybody says, "Well, I am the man of the house, I lead," that tells me that person does not compromise
Exactly.
because we lead. It should be we lead together,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Every commander has a deputy commander.
That's right. And to be honest with you, leaders do compromise. That's how they get things done.
I don't have my water. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing: sometimes you lead from the front, sometimes you lead from behind,
Exactly.
right? But everybody knows who the leader is.
Absolutely.
You know, and
You
and
never hear leaders saying, I'm the leader.
no,
You never hear that.
that's like parents. Parents who question their parenting are the good parents because you're always wondering if you're doing enough or you're doing it right. If you're
Right.
never questioning that, I'm questioning your parents, your parenting. Because even I question like Xavier's not wasn't himself today. He was laying down watching TV. I'm like, are you feeling okay? And I
Right.
check his
Right.
soap, and I'm like, sometimes I question if I'm doing it right. Maybe I should just call the doctor because
Right. Right.
that's
Right.
what it is. When you're concerned about that other person, if your spouse is not feeling well, you would make them their favorite soup or whatever makes them feel better. If you're not willing to
That's real
do
talk.
that, you need to walk away because you don't
That's
like
real
that
talk.
person because you're not caring about them,
That's
right?
real talk. We got a few minutes here. Give me 1 second. I want to check this
Yeah.
Instagram, make sure these folks are still there.
Martine says, I've seen a lot of movies about the guy who's been the friend forever. The girl finally sees him, then they live happily ever after. Yeah, I hate those movies because it's such a waste of time. Right?
Surely is.
They talk for years and years. They watch each other get married. They watch each other get divorced. They watch their spouses die, and then when they're 70, they get together. Like, come on.
Right.
It says in a unit there has to be balance. Both can really have good ideas. Yeah, there's give and take. No one is 100% right all the time.
Right. That's right. That's right. Again, man, like I said, man, about the compromising. I don't know why it's so hard for people not to compromise.
So they don't always get what they want if you compromise.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
If you have a very self-centered personality where your needs always come first, you're never going to want to compromise with anybody else, because that means you'll have to put somebody else first.
True.
Right?
True.
And a lot of there's too many people who aren't ready to do that.
True.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely right.
how many times have you seen people like, oh, the man of the house gets fed first? I'm like, feed the kids. Once the kids are happy, it's quiet, and then you can eat in peace.
Right.
But you know, and a real man's like, no, feed my babies. Make sure my babies are taken care of. Right? That's his legacy.
You got a point. Yeah, you got a point.
But you know,
Definitely got a point.
too many people are worried about themselves and what they can get and where they can go, and they're not concerned with the other person involved.
Right.
So sometimes you just have to walk away.
Absolutely.
And there's a chapter of that in my book, letting go. Because we all need to let go.
We got 5 minutes. Tell folks about your book, then we'll get to the teachable moment. I see you guys there on Instagram, so really appreciate you guys checking out.
Thank you all for watching and listening to our Messy Sundays. And if you want us on email, it's dee.layler@gmail.com. That's Delta Echo Echo dot Lima Alpha Yankee Lima Oscar Romeo @gmail.com. For those of you who know
all the hate mail goes to D, because the mail that I got last week, I didn't say it. D did, so send it to her.
Forward it to me, sir. I'm more than happy to tell them about themselves, because sometimes they tell on themselves with their comments.
There it is.
So my book, I'm still in production, still writing it. It's all about the journey back to yourself after. Originally, it was after divorce, but I got some great advice for somebody who said it's after about a massive change in life. So, because it all works the same, whether it's a breakup, a loss of a job, a loss of a spouse, you go through the same emotions for a lot of them, right?
I can't wait to read that book, man. I can't wait to dig in.
I can't wait to dig in.
I know it's gonna be a great read.
It's getting a little deep right now. So.
Exactly. And it takes time for those type of books, man. Like I was telling you, offline a couple of weeks ago. Like when I wrote Chapter the Delta and the Four Horsemen books, they were very difficult, to write. Once I got to the emotional pieces, I cried throughout the entire book, until it ended. So yeah.
Yeah, because I just wrote a chapter last night about when I got divorced, going to the grocery store and not knowing what I like to eat, because I had centered every meal around what they like to eat.
Exactly.
And I came from the Army too. They got married, so the Army tells you what you like. So standing I was crying in the grocery store in front of a fruit stand because, what do I want? And it's crazy when you think of it now, but then it's so going through those emotions again is like, whoa, that's some crazy.
I know for me, man, when I was writing those books, once I got on the other side of it, it was some great healing, and this is the results of it. So yeah, good stuff. Hey, let's get to these last comments. I want to leave these guys out because always here before we close out.
Let me scroll down. So Martine says there were a couple of guys who'd like me back in the day, yet bypassed me, are now trying to see what's what. After 3 divorces, etc., they're burnt out. Oh yeah, of course. Ursula says there are so many awesome takeaways here. Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff, Urs. I'm sure we'll Gumbo Talk on that offline.
Yeah. And Martine says, why do people feel the need to send angry, hateful emails? Because sometimes they're misery and we hit a bone that hurts.
Exactly.
And
stepping on toes are, hey, when you step on toes, I mean, if I stepped on your toe, I mean, there's more work to be done.
And I tell people, if it doesn't affect you, then don't worry about it. If you're
And
strong
actually,
enough to, yeah,
my friend from Jersey complimented us earlier when she was talking about the podcast. She said, "I commend you indeed for even speaking like that because I wouldn't have the wherewithal to get there and just say that and just not worry about the feedback. Like
yeah.
honestly, I really don't care about the feedback like that. I
Listen,
really don't.
here's the thing. For all the bad feedback we get, I've gotten emails thanking us for what we've said. Right?
There you go.
And sometimes you just have to. You never know the impact you make, but if I can help one person, then I have achieved my goal here,
Exactly.
and that's all
And I've
that matters.
always said throughout the years, I've been doing this for almost 20 years.
Mhm.
I've always said if I touch one person, I've touched a million. So
Yeah. And
I
remember,
touched that person, that's who that message was for. It was meant for that person.
exactly. And feedback
Yeah.
is just information. It
That's
only
it.
has the power that you give to it.
One more
So if you
time.
don't, feedback is only information and only has the power that you give to it. And if you don't
Boom.
give that information, if you don't give it power, it has no power. I
Has
read
no
most of those
power at all.
emails and go, well, that must have
Ursula,
sucked in your life.
let's get Ursula with these last few and then we'll get out of here.
Ursula says relationships are about compromise, but not selfishness or contentment with poor behavior. In actuality, we really only have our one person at a time. That is our person. Yep. And
That's true.
person can change with growth. We shouldn't be afraid to grow. Yep. I read a book. I can't remember the name of it, where the gentleman said that he has married eight different people in the 50 years he's been married to his wife.
Oh wow.
Because as we age, we change. What we think when we're 20 and what we think when we're 60 is a completely different thing. And if it's not, then
Absolutely.
you need to work on you because there should have been some growth in there.
Exactly. I hate to run, but this gumbo talk got hot tonight. Great
Martha,
mixture in the gumbo pot tonight, Coach D.
yeah.
Let's your teachable moment, then we'll get out.
My teachable moment is effort is a necessity, and nobody should be low effort. Everybody should be high
Exactly.
maintenance.
My teachable moment is compromise. If we can't compromise, we have no reason walking into that relationship, that friendship, that business deal, or anything. If we cannot compromise, we have no business in dealing with anything. Sit on the side until you actually get some compromise. Simple as
Exactly.
that.
Yep.
Life is simple. We as humans make it hard.
Indeed.
So, Coach D and
Which
I really appreciate you guys. You guys can always catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Roku channel, all that good stuff, YouTube Live, all that good stuff. So, we really appreciate all the support that we get and all the emails, good or bad. We love those too as well. So, that means that you're watching, you're coming back for more.
Yep.
So, these messy Sundays are only going to get messier. And when
Oh
we
yeah.
talk about messy Sundays, we talking about growth, we're talking about trauma, and this is what she specializes in, straight trauma. She's a
Yep.
trauma coach. So if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen, come on back, and we'll warm the soup up for you next week. So
Yeah. Exactly.
that's what it is.
We'll throw something messy together because messy's all about growth, right?
Exactly.
We all got baggage. Anybody says they don't, mm,
Run away from them quick,
yeah.
delusion. So we're gonna
All
talk
right.
about the whole what did you say we're gonna talk about? Was it an emotional piece? Talking about the emotional piece or crying or
What? Oh, I didn't. I don't have my notebook here.
gotcha.
We were
I'll
talking
go
about
back.
crying.
Yeah, something about crying. I'll go back and look at it and we'll
Yeah.
get it done up. So
It had something to do with men showing emotion or something like that.
exactly. So you want to
I'm
close it
sure.
out, Coach?
Yeah. Xavier's asleep. That's why I'm not on time today because I don't have to go run and grab him.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. One more time for Martine. Martine gets the last comment.
Martine says, "I'm high maintenance," in all caps. That's right. You are, ma'am. She said, Ursula and Trent, I saw y'all had hung out a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
we
didn't even
did. We
invite
def-
me. 2024, I couldn't get a video call or nothing. We'll have to talk about that.
we
So I
had to
hope
do that.
so. Thank you to our viewers all around the world. I hope you have a wonderful week. Um, love and be loved because you are loved. And we'll see you on Sunday.
Absolutely. You guys be epic. Talk soon.
Bye.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedie Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.